Hi, my name is Alvin, and today I will present on a project which we were assigned to build a home office for our chosen client on designated site location. My chosen client is Gordon Ramsay. Here's a short introduction for him. He is a professional chef, Scottish by birth but brought up in England. He aspired to be a professional football player, but due to injury, he changed his career into becoming a professional chef. People who watch his show probably would know that he is more fiery on screen because he needs to act professional despite the use of profanity. But he's more kinda off screen, where he smiles and talks gentler when he's away from work. So it shows duality in his character, and his work space would be the kitchen for the home office. And then for our site location will be the Botanical Garden located in KL. But our location is the island in between and within the setback and boundary line. The first diagram on the right shows the sun path and wind on the site, and it proves that the site won't be very hot because of the surrounding trees. While the next diagram shows the access and views, there are only two access to the island, which is through the bridge at northeast here and another at southeast, this part. For the views, there will be bamboo playhouse, two bridges, canteen which located across the bridge, and the lake that surrounds the island. The third diagram the third diagram shows the private and public zone on the island. Because it's a public park, so most of the spaces are public and only the brown part where a library located at is kind of private. Then to my concept, as I mentioned earlier about Gordon's character, which is duality, which means two stuff is opposite. So duality in architecture is it could be criticized for being very simple and it's unable to see the grouping of all the complex parts of architecture into one single concept, meaning that it's differentiated into two parts and that produce duality. So duality in architecture is both simple and complex. For example, like diagram on the board, light and dark, where there's light on one part, then the rest is dark. Or tension and relax, where there's tension in one space, but as it goes further, it's more open. It's like two things in the same category, but it's opposed to each other. Linear organization shows great example too, like the diagram. These two These two can be the opposite and the middle can be the passing point, or it can be directly two opposites side by side or front and back. Next is my concept collage. The duality that I go for is work and rest. And the workspace on the front with the pass-through window are more stand out than the rest space behind it with soft or muted color and more privacy. There is also a gazebo for shelter as the site is lack of it. Next, my design approach is to separate the rest slash private space and work slash public space while the client still able to engage with the public. For design development, it's in linear organization first, then separate into two space, make the right part bigger for the workspace where there are many movement going on inside, and to engage with public. It cannot be fully square because it will only face one direction. So subtract a small part and add something like a hedge for privacy in the rest space. Then space matrix, most of the spaces are private, which is the rest space, semi-private for the workspace, and shelter is open to everyone. The largest space would be the dry kitchen as it has a lot of movement going on in the space. Next, it's the space planning. The building placement will be on top of the site as the back part are just trees. It gives more privacy and front part closer to the public. There will be three paths for visitors to access the workspace, which is the cooking station. And from there, visitors can see directly at Bamboo Playhouse. And if someone cross the bridge, the cooking station can be seen easily and is more welcoming. Here is the location and key plan. This is how the home office looks like on site plan on the right. And then the floor plan. And before that, I already have a name for the house, which is A opposed house. And meaning behind that is A without the O is oppose, which means place something side by side. And oppose without the A means against each other. So it reflects on my concept, which is duality. So A opposed house. Then back to floor plan. Ground floor shows the entrance on the left side, and the dining area in the middle is the area of something like a passing point between the rest space and the workspace, which leads to the dry kitchen. Then going up with the stairs to the two bedrooms with a recess in between, so the bedroom doors are not directly facing the toilet. Then a sliding door which can lead to outside like a mini balcony. Then section. The thing to focus on in section is the material used between two spaces. For the workspace, ceramic tiles is used for walls because it's easy to clean and maintain, also resistance to moisture, bacteria, and fire. While the rest space use white plaster, which is also fire resistance, and soundproof, which is an advantage for the rest space. Next is elevations, and the thing to focus in elevation is the rest space. As you can see on the south elevation, a screen is added on ground floor to avoid public eyes, but still able to see outside from the interior. And also aluminum screening on first floor, the upper floor, where the client can plant something because he specializes in French and Italian cuisine. So there will be a lot of herbs that he can plant on a floating balcony. And when public stand at a certain point outside, they won't be able to see inside the house because of the screening system, as you can see in a perspective view. And more privacy with the private garden as a hedge, which the public will know it's off limit, while the workspace is more open and the use of materials is bold and attractive and more welcoming to engage with public. Next will be the detailed drawing of the workspace where it shows the gutter for rainwater and then ceramic tiles for interior wall timber cladding used for exterior walls, which color is bold and also matches the site. Then the three openings to engage with the public, and concrete is used for floor materials as it gives advantages in terms of safety, which is not slippery, also fireproof, and allows smooth movement in the workspace. Then on the right shows the interior perspective workspace for the client. One is the dry kitchen and another is the wet kitchen. Last would be the perspectives view of the house. First one is from the workspace, and this one is from the rest space. And lastly, it shows the contrast between two spaces put together. Before ending my presentation, the whole board put together will be something like this. And that's all for my presentation. Thank you for listening.